Okay, it's time. Live stream. It's time for the stream. Yo, sick. Okay, I'm excited to do some creating today. We're gonna do some fun things. It's gonna be really fun. So people in Tavern are chilling. I've been doing some fun things. Been making some creator tools. Been working on some work stuff with the Egg platform. Been making some music. That was really fun to use this intro music, actually. It's pretty sick. I'm going to be using the music I made yesterday for a little bit of content creation. But to do that content creation nowadays, it's really interesting. Normally, I'd go into like DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro or After Effects and struggle to do animations and other things. And oh my gosh. But what if there was a really cool tool that was able to generate the type of content that I had in my brain? Because I think that it's reusable in the style in my head. And so I had this thought, okay, cool. What is this idea? What is this thing? And can I code a tool to help me create that content consistently without me having to go in and do a lot of the animation stuff? Because that would be really awesome, because it would just mean that I can generate these really cool outputs consistently to the style that I have in my head. And so I had this idea, and I guess I immediately just thought about the mechanism of said idea, which is basically just an A to B transition. That's all it is. That's all we're building today. This has been used a lot in video editing and movies and all sorts of things. And so realistically, can I have that browser window? Like, where is it? Why is it gone? My browsers just don't want to open. Hello? Is it this? Oh, it's there. There we go. Okay. It's like, why isn't this opening? A to B transition. So basically, video. Okay, so effectively, this is a very just like thing in video editing, right? It's just transitions. Transitions are cool. Like, you have fade transitions, you've got all these crazy transitions. People have made like, here's how you do all these million transitions, and this is cool. This is very, very cool. And some people even go as far as to try and use these techniques while filming live, and they like rotate the object around. And I thought that was really cool. This style where you kind of like create the motion using pulley systems and dollies, and you film it in certain ways that you get these really cool outputs. And it's mostly using like product ads. And I guess that was also what I was thinking, is to try and make a product ad, but make a tool to generate those kind of same outputs. So it's kind of like a transition, and it's kind of like a product moving thing. And so this should still be running. Reload. There we go. And so I wrote down this idea, and immediately I thought about the mechanism and it being a turntable. I guess that just sprung to my mind. So I was like, oh, cool. Got the branding for the tool already. It's pretty sick. So I made this little logo this morning because I had this idea in my head of how the logo would look. And it's like got this like little turntable, the spinny things. I think it actually turned out pretty well. Like, this is kind of a cool logo look for this thing, which is pretty sick. So that's what we're building. We're going to build Turntable, this tool that allows you to basically create these sick product transitions and video transitions and create, just like a really cool, novel way to have something stylish. It's going to be very specific on the styling. The styling is that like product, hyper stylized, turning, like it's going to be tied to BPM and timing like this. I want to build a really cool tool that can achieve that can do that. So that's what I'm going to build. This is the idea. And I think this is the big thing with building nowadays. And I'm going to go into like how am I going to personally try and be creative and use AI at the same time to make this really viable? Because nowadays we can build so many things. This note editor I'm on right now, I built with AI because I wanted to. That's kind of also the premise of today. It would take me probably a while to build this. I could build this myself confidently, and that's good. That's good to have that confidence skill in yourself, but it takes a fraction of the time using the tools available, which is AI. And so I think a good mixture of like learning yourself and using the tools available is good. And the same way of this turntable tool, people could argue, right? Like, oh, you should try and learn the craft of filmmaking and edits and stuff yourself. That's also very true, but this saves a lot of time and gets you creative, consistent outputs. And I think that's a really big, juicy discussion at the moment with creating, right? Is getting these good outputs you want. And I guess a lot of people are driven by greed, and they're driven by like, we have to get the optimal output really quickly because that's optimal in terms of money. This is true, but I think if we ignore greed and we ignore that kind of stuff and we look at the purpose of, do you feel confident as a creator? Do you feel like you can express your ideas and have them come to life? I think that's a really magical thing that technology is bringing about nowadays, is the ability to actually bring ideas to life. And I think that's really, really cool. And right now, too many things are happening too fast to honestly like ground in an action. So I'm going to be exploring AI. I'm going to be exploring how to use AI. I'm going to be exploring my own mental warfare of like, do I feel good about this? And I'm not really like glued into a position because I feel like right now everything's moving so fast. I kind of want to move around with it to understand the whole landscape. So eventually when we start to actually understand all of this crazy stuff happening so fast better, we can make really good choices of like, how do we conduct ourselves with AI? How do we be a good creator? How do we like be fair with people? All of these things. I think that's going to take a bit of time. And so me right now, I'm in exploring mode. If you're tuning in to the video afterwards, you're seeing like what I'm up to. Hopefully something cool and creative, making a cool tool. And I hope that like utilizing this tool would be a cool way, like maybe from this video and stream, you can also be like, oh cool, I'm gonna like try out ideas for myself too. I think right now it's too many things have happened with AI for us to remain stubborn. Even if we want to hold values, I personally really want to see a lot of change in the space with AI. I want to see a lot of adoption of fair practices and accreditations and ways to help everyone like in a good way. And I think that that's going to take a bit of time to figure out how to do correctly, without just being polarized, without just like smashing, oh my god, but this is gonna kill our power and this is gonna steal our things. And it's so swingy and polarizing, and it's like the same nature as the people who developed AI smashed us in the face with this stuff too. And it's kind of like fighting fire with fire. Like you're just swinging back and forth, and it's just like, ugh, it's not really like the positive values I want to see from people in society. So for me right now, I'm exploring this, but I'm not super tied in. I'm not like, oh guys, you should start adopting and doing this. There's many ways to go about being creative, so many ways, and this is one I'm exploring. So I'm very excited to give it a go. And honestly, using AI to build some stuff has been so fast, and also has its own challenges. So maybe if you're like, oh, maybe I'll give it a go. I'll show my process of how I'm gonna build this thing. But that's my little preamble for like the VOD, or if people are tuning in now, hello. Time to build some creative stuff. Feel free to come around, hang out in TVRN, or throw in some chats. I'll try and read the live stream chat if it wants to open. I'm having some troubles with like my browser stuff. Like recently, it's been a bit like, why is stuff not like opening? Like there's that tab there. Oh, there we go. Oh, I see two people, Yuki and McKinney. Hello. What's up? All right, I finally have my chat window open. I don't know why, but I wasn't able to get it open before. Don't know if you guys heard all the preamble. Feel free to rewatch later. But the TLDR is I'm going to be vibe coding up a little bit of an app. Going to be exploring the process of making something. I'm using Cursor to do that. And so, yeah, going to be making this cool thing. So I'm going to get started with some project setup. This is going to be cool. So really, a really interesting thing, like I haven't really like deep dived into the like, oh my gosh, how do you optimize using AI and all this stuff. So if you've got any like cool tricks, or you're like, oh, I tried to use this model and this thing happened, or if there's a discussion or thought or anything that comes up, like throw it in the chat. I'm just going to be like throwing my approach at the stuff. And a lot of like with web development and things, I'm probably going to use web, but the first thing I'm going to do is try and explore like, how am I going to build this thing? A really good foundational way things have been built in a while is using kind of libraries and engines and things that kind of pre-exist. And there's a few things that I know work well, and there's a few things I'm worried about. If I do this on web, because I want to be handling media stuff like video and things like this, I'm a little worried about the processing of the actual media, because I want the output to be a kind of like animation on top of the video. I'm a little worried about like the media stream stuff if I do it in web. I think I want to give it a try because web is really accessible that way. But if I run into any technical problems, I think this is going to be my consideration or struggle, is like the handling of like the video compositing. But I know that a lot of people have been doing stuff on web around video things for a bit, so I'm going to give it a go. So first steps is looking at basically this. So this is my idea: create a tool that lets you craft transitions, pop-up, and other elements for content creation. I want to be able to kind of almost take like slide A and slide B and transition them and have the tool be the transition and handle the elements really well. Like if it's a text element, there's some cool animation. If it's a video, like it's going to swap that through and have this thing work kind of well. So I think let's start the prompting process, explaining what this project is to the AI a little bit, generating out a little bit of a thing. So I'm going to do this by using a project outline.md. So MD is markdown, so it's just like a really clean and clear way that we can communicate to the AI. Like it can read the structure of MD files really well. And so when it's generating its own thoughts, or you're wanting to use AI to build something using MD files to make sure that it doesn't go insane and build random stuff is good. Keeping it constrained into a box like this is always really good, because it's gonna just go insane and it's gonna build really whack stuff. So being able to actually be the project manager and like design it into a document and get it to work with it is really like a good thing. I've had some interesting results trying to build things from the ground up with AI. This will be one of those things, so it'll be really interesting to see like how it's going to handle some of these things. So I'm not going to overly format this. I'll get it to fix up the format, but Turntable is aiming to be a tool for content creation where I can create elements like text, upload images or videos, and basically craft a generative transition between the elements. So the result is a stylized video with, I'm going to call them like product transitions between the elements. The style here is kind of like product ads, where you might have an image, logo, or text, or a small video clip, and the tool itself needs to have a specific style with transitioning those elements, sequence out the elements into a video and composite that. This will be synced to a BPM input, as the videos will usually line up with some type of music. So we will enter in a BPM, and the transitions and such will follow that BPM, and the user can change the rate by beats. So 1 bar, 1/4, 1/8, etc. So I kind of want the transitions to, like, if I'm doing like a boof boof boof, like a swirl of a thing, I kind of want to make sure that effectively I can metronome sync the transitions to a BPM. So if I'm putting music in, then I know that like the BPM will line up, and the transition timing, I'm not going to have to like weirdly adjust. I'm just going to be able to put in a BPM and be like, boof. That linearness of that, like maybe I can have some adjustments. I can toggle it off, and then like you can be more precise, but I like the idea of having like clear synced kind of transitions and movements and stuff. So I'm kind of keen to put this in. the design of how to handle the elements and such is kind of like a 3D space where we will rotate in the frames and elements. Imagine a turntable with the elements loading in the center, and you rotate it around. So there will be a transition that has this rotated feel, and then the element itself may have its own animation or pop up from there. We will need to composite the final results into an MP4. So now this is where I guess like pre-knowledge is helpful. So if you're like making something for the first time and you just have the idea, I think writing out the idea is good, but this is where I'm going off a little bit of my own knowledge check of like, I know what motion.js is. It's a library of code that handles animations for web. And I know what 3.js is, which handles rendering for 3D in web in Canvas. That's a simplified, explanation of that. But I know what these libraries are. I know that they're accessible to use, and I know roughly how they get used. And so I can write these into my notes and start to streamline in like the way that this is going to be built. So this is kind of like a specific choice. I think at this point as well, like this is where this type of thing you could highlight and break out to be like, oh, I need to go have a conversation with AI or Google search or whatever, or a friend who's done it before, and basically ask the question. Like this is where this would raise a question. How am I going to build this? So you have the idea of like, this is how I want the elements to animate. Then ask the question, how is that going to happen? I'm still going to ask and test and poke how this is going to happen, because this is just my initial impression. This is not like, oh, I know exactly how to build this. I kind of know how to build this, but it's pretty loosey-goosey. What I'm going to build is kind of insane and cool, I think. And it would normally be really hard to build a tool like this. So having a rough idea is good, but this is where I'd start to raise the questions of like, how do I build this? So I might even put into my notes, right? I'm taking an educated guess with motion.js and 3.js. However, I'm not fully sure on the exact libraries and such we will need. Open to ideas here. Now, this is where like working with AI is really interesting, right? Because it's like, this is like, this is kind of where, yeah, you can either just stop here and go and research and look it up and find an answer you're happy with, and then kind of just work that into your plan, or you could kind of weirdly put the AI on this journey of figuring it out with you, or the AI might have answers because it's kind of hooked up to the whole search stuff. Please suggest libraries and tech stack for us to use. The goal is video composite, animation, transition, handling of elements like text and images in 3D space as well. So I'm putting in that consideration into the design. It's really like weird almost, like this thing, you know. It's like working with someone, and you're like, oh, how should we do this? It's kind of interesting, like where things are going nowadays. But what I found is like having a plan like this, having a rough idea, and just kind of going at it, and just be like, oh, let's just throw it at the wall and see what sticks, is usually a fun way to go about it, because you'll get something that works, and you'll get a closer idea to what you want. But normally, if I had a prompt like this, what the AI is going to throw at me is pretty sloppy. It's pretty rough. Like it's usually not amazing at getting these like wonderful results. I think that a lot of people glamorize the use of AI like a lot, and a lot of times like you're not really getting great results. But there's elements that you get that are really useful, and I think it's about picking those out and like shifting and changing and designing around those things that make it good. And I think it's a key difference is right now, like a lot of people have gone in and found ways to just generate glamorous results that are a bit more surface level, that are really good at marketing the AI, and then a lot of consumer people rush in. They're like, now I can do this too. And then they'll hit walls, but they're like, oh, but I just need to work at it. It's pretty tricky. Like right now with where AI is at, I think that there's a lot of like rough parts, rough edges, but it's only going to get better with time. So figuring out how to work around those is really good. And just knowing that out of the box, I think is also good, because I'm not going to get like so stuck or like headstrong and like, oh my gosh, the AI is broken. Like, yeah, it is super broken, but it's way faster than if I were to try and prototype this idea myself. Using the AI to get a prototype out the door is like insane. Most of the time I'm spending here is just sitting here rambling and talking about it, because I think it's kind of cool. And I'm talking through my ideas and stuff, but honestly, it's like, it's pretty fast. Like if I just kind of went at it, like we'd be getting somewhere. But I really don't know about the whole video composite stuff for web. This will be interesting. Like I'm not too sure, but I definitely know something is possible here. In terms of tool UI, I really want this tool to be quite straightforward in terms of how we handle sequencing of elements and stuff. I want it to be not as technical or grainy in terms of details. I want there to be depth. However, for the user, they don't have to worry about too much technical depth. Maybe later we can consider advanced settings. But for now, let's leave that under the hood. User UI should basically have some kind of almost designed like a sequence of slides in a simple, clean, minimal timeline below. Have some clean hover and edit interaction with each slide to select how long that element will be on screen for before it transitions. So this is where I'm starting to like envision in my head. I'm starting to picture in my head. So what I will do is I will pull up a little tool here to share in the visualization with you guys. So my idea here is effectively, this is the tool, this is the video, these are the elements, and this is the timeline. Very video editing structure. this is very video editing structure. I don't think I need to reinvent the wheel at all. I don't think I need to reinvent the wheel. I could make this more simple though. That's also a thing. I can make this more simple by having video timeline, and you just drag and drop the elements into this box here to also upload them in as a box, and you don't have a management of things here. That might make it more straightforward, but I think having a library of assets on the side is a good tried and true method. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. So we are going to lay this out like a video editing thing. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because I can also do this and feed this into the AI as like, hey, here's a guide, here's a layout. Video preview. So we're going to have video preview in here. We're going to have timeline in here. And we're going to have asset library in here. Cool. Nice. So this is where I will take a screenshot of this, and I'm going to throw it in to here. Check out the first image in terms of the layout of the app. So I'm just going to put this in as a comment into the prompt. I'm not going to actually prompt it yet, but I'm just going to put this in, so when I prompt it, I've got a reference to this thing. Cool. So yeah, we can sort of select the elements, how long it's going to transition for. You will also be able to edit the timing settings for the transition. E.g. beats, like 1 bar, 1/4, the whole project should be tied to 1 BPM. So put that as a setting that pops up when you make a new project. In the tool, we should allow the user to basically make projects where they can save and reopen them. This will be kind of a juicy feature, I think. When you launch the app, have it be a grid of projects with a new project button. When you open that, give a project name, BPM, and have a box to upload elements into, so you can upload everything you need right away as you start the project. I think that'll be also nice, like just being able to start the project and just like dump it in all in one go. The style of the tool itself should be pretty stylish and minimal, as the style of the final video composite will have that same product ad style to it. What other kind of things? I think this is like roughly cool. I'll check back here to ideas that I wrote down. BPM is important. There should be a transition to edit for each slide, but also have things to animate for the element itself when it's on screen. So it might, so by default, all element slides will have the turntable transition, which is that 3D rotated vibe. But you can additionally add in like fade-ins and pop-ups and such on the element itself. E.g., a text slide rotates in and changes the background color, but the text itself takes 2.8 seconds to pop in, or fades out, then takes 1 second to transition, etc. Okay, so I'm going to drag this in to the chat as well, so we can basically drag in the MD file into the chat and refer to it. So we can basically say, I've written a project outline for this creator tool I want to build here. So we're going to leave those at the end of our prompt as like little references. And now I'm going to just try and write a little prompt to get this going. So I want to create a tool for content generation that is focused on making a video composite of elements like text, images, and video with a rotated transition feel, like product revolving on a turntable. The app tool itself is called turntable. Now, I did make a logo for this, so let me just like grab that. And I'm going to put this in. The second image I've attached here is called logo.png. It is transparent already. You do not need to format the image, but we can use that as the logo. Now, I've had some interesting things where like I've tried to drag in images and then it reformats it, which is really weird. So I just give it context for that. Can you go through the project outline to understand all the designs for the tool itself? Can you generate a production plan.md file with how we are going to exactly build this? What libraries will we be using, etc. And list out all of the features. Now, this is where I get a little aggressive with AI. Because what I know is AI loves to be realistic. It loves to be like, this is a really great idea. You're so smart. I think I'm going to build 10% of it and then write 90% of it as caveats or as, oh, well, you can expand. I like to be like, don't do that. How about you build it instead? And then it's really interesting seeing the dynamic there. Because, yeah, it doesn't fully take over too much. So giving it the all clear of like, go in and shove in some features and build some stuff and like go deep into the thing. It's an interesting like dynamic that I've found. So it's sort of trying to get it to go from like, oh yeah, we've like talked about this idea in a chat box to like, oh no, we're structuring this into a project that's being built. That's cool. So please read through all of the project details in the outline.md file. I may have not thought of every detail, so please infer the plan and take the approach that we are making this tool feature rich, but having a core focus on the turntable transition and the compositing of the final video. It's very important the style of this app remains minimal and very clean. Clear, blank background colors, nice font, clean handling. Now, I also, I'm going to open up this because I have a font I wanted to give. I want to give it a font to use. Please use the Takeo bold font for headers in the app. And normal text, use IBM Plex Mono. Regular. That's a little specific detail, but I want to use these fonts, so I'm just putting that in there. Again, we are trying to first lay out a strong production document of how we can build the outline into a full demo. Cool. So this is my first prompt. We are now going to see what it does. We're going to see what it does. I'm going to get some tunes going while this is happening, because we might as well have some tunes going. So let's get something. This remix is really sick. I don't know what we'll listen to after this, but I like this remix. Sick. So it's structuring out the MD file. And so this is going to be our kind of like main actual like MD file of like how this is going to be built. And like insane, right? Like this is crazy. Now, a really cool thing that I figured out that you can do is in cursor, you can take the MD files and hit Control-Shift-V and actually preview them. So instead of reading it like this, which is sucks, you can actually preview them in the cursor environment, which is cool. And now it's really readable. So let's have a little read through, shall we? It's reading time. So first let's have a look at what's on here, because it's going to summarize, and then we'll check through the details. So it read through everything, blah, 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 and it's put it in deliverable. This includes a project summary, a layout and visual system, a tech stack, BPM time model, interesting, feature list, that sounds like something to read, data model, really interesting, phased delivery, A to F, risks and open decision scope. Oh, cool. So this is the thing. It's like we're now kind of getting into this crazy area where we can work with an AI to scope out a project, to look at scope, to look at ways to build it. What does it think? Now, it's not going to know everything, and it's statistical, but it's really cool to like work with it this way. It's so fast. So let's have a look. Turntable production plan. This document turns the project outline into a buildable roadmap for a feature-rich demo with a clear core, turntable system 3, transition between composed elements, and export to MP4. Sounds great. Wrapped in a minimal clean UI. Great. So it's for assembling slides. Each slide, one primary element or beat of content. Slides are sequenced on a timeline and synced to one global BPM. Transitions emphasizing 3D rotated product on a turntable. Feel. Each element can also have secondary motion. Yep, that sounds pretty good. UX, layout, wireframe. That's all. That seems good. Visual system, backgrounds, typography, logo, accent. Cool. So it's giving me some like colors and stuff. I really wish it would preview the colors like in the markdown stuff. That would be nice. Recommend tech stack. Okay, here we go. Application shell. So choice Electron. Interesting. Electron. I wonder if it's trying to make the web app locally native to utilize the file system better. Right. Electron, Vite, and React recommended for demo 1. So it's trying to get the best use out of FFmpeg and the file system. No codec limits. Yeah, so this is what the consideration I had in my head was, right? It's like some limit with video in pure browser. Alternative, Towery 2. I've never heard of Towery 2. React and Vite. I know what React and Vite are. Similar binary, Rust sidecar for oh, interesting. So Towery 2 is specific for FFmpeg and it's built with Rust. Let's have a look. It's an open source software framework designed for create cross-platform desktop and mobile applications. Oh, so Towery is, I guess, like an Electron. Like it's similar to an Electron. Again, to be able to handle like FFmpeg stuff, I suppose. I mean, that's cool. Okay. Alternative web only, PWA. Faster to share a link, export, leans on media recorder, often WebM. Heavier RAM and CPU, codec quirks. I mean, it looks like it's pretty strong in this, using Electron. So I think we'll just go with that. See how it goes. 3.2 3D scene and turntable motion 3.js, and then some React stuff. Custom camera seems pretty good. Note: motion X frame of motion is excellent for UI and 2D DOM. It's not suitable for a real 3D stage. Use 3.js. Yes, that makes sense. I guess that makes sense, right? But 2D animation on the elements. Motion is good. And then gas up. Optional if you need timeline scribbable tweens. That could be nice. Video, and I also know Conver is a potential. HTML video element, video texture in 3JS. Okay, so in 3JS there's a video texture, so I can actually load it this way. This still worries me a little bit of like how plausible this is going to be, but that's kind of cool. Images, texture loader, or text. Trioca 3 text, yeah, for the 3D text stuff. Single BPM. Rational beat units. Sure. Seconds equal beats / BPM times 60. All animation curves. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how accurate that one goes. State persistent projects, client side, project files, yep. Export to MP4, fixed export resolution, yep. Offline rendered loop, pipe frames to FFmpeg, bundled in Electron. Yeah, it's really interesting how this will sort of work. Libraries and tools, FFmpeg. Avoid relying on browser-only encoders for the canonical text. Yeah, so it's basically saying like just browser-based is a little risky. UI components sounds fine. All right, so we have a project hub, new project flow, asset library, slide-based timeline, per slide duration, global BPM, default transition, per slide element animations, live previews, and I mean, it sounds like the entire thing. That's great. Nice to have. Scrub playhead, audio import, additional transition presets, motion blur, and template projects. Yeah, that's actually a really good note. I think a lot of the times, again, AI will put like, oh, I'm going to put half of your features as nice to haves. This is actually just nice to haves. All of the core is in there, which is really good. Data model, nice. And so this is when you start to get really technical. Like above is kind of like, here's some information. It's a bit technical, but still good. Now it's getting into the like real technical of like, here's how we're going to lay out your stuff. This is hard to understand in terms of like how to do it right, so to say. Like I can just take the best guess and say it looks good, like project layout is alright. There may be certain things in here of like, oh, maybe I should consider XYZ. It's really hard to like know just from looking at this. It's like, okay, if this is all saved into a JSON file like this, it looks fine, like it looks okay. But this is where, yeah, the back end of this, it's interesting. It's like, what do I need to, when you look at this and how it saves, it's like, what do I need to save? What do I need to consider? The project itself, having an ID is fine because then it identifies itself, name, version, that's cool, BPM, aspect ratio, assets, and slides sound okay. And then it looks like the slides themselves are going to hold the transitions and other things. Yeah, that sounds fine. Phase delivery, phase A. Shell and design system, phase B, project and assets, phase C, timeline, phase D, 3JS preview, phase E export, and phase F polish. Sounds great. Risks and decisions, oh, here we go. Preview and export. Risk. So one timeline clock feeding both render and export loop avoids separate motion only path for 3D content. So it's giving me a risk, and it's saying your preview and your export has some potential to be a little bit weird. But if we use one timeline clock feeding both of these things, we avoid separate paths for the content, right? In terms of, so it's saying like this could get messy, so use the same thing for both. Sure, I think we'd want it to be kind of one-to-one, right? Video texture seek performance, pre-decode strategy, cap resolution and preview, export uses the same assets at full quality if possible. So this is saying when you're using video textures, this stuff might like die. So with the preview, make it like a quarter resolution. Yeah, it's a rougher thing, but it makes sense. Font licensing. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so we basically need to bundle the font licensing in the local offline version. And that's a really weird specific note, but that's cool. Scope creep. Shift turntable plus 1 background fade pop before adding transition frames. Yeah, I think that's accurate. It's actually laid out a really strong project document of how it's going to implement everything, and it's gone over a lot of really good stuff. So I'm pretty confident in using all the mitigation notes and what it is going to build. Open choices to lock in during phase A. Primary export aspect. It should be 16 by 9. Definitely. React 3 fiber versus vanilla 3. Yeah, let's do React 3 fiber. That's good. Okay, so now I'm going to feedback some notes. I read through the production plan file. Everything looks great. In terms of the risk and decisions in part 7, please use all mitigations you noted. We will do all of those as the solutions. They seem good. Open choices on part 9. 1, let's use 16 by 9. 2, let's use React 3 fiber, as it would be great to have this be React friendly. And 3, prio text quality in text renderer. Now, can you step through each phase and fully implement each part? Once you are done with a phase, check linting and implement run build for compiling. Then just fully move onto the next step, next phase, until you are fully done all the way to F. Okay, now now we let this just run forever, because this is a pretty juicy plan. It's a pretty juicy feature build. It's gonna build a lot of stuff. So this is probably going to run for a while. We may need to click continue on a few things, but this is pretty cool. It's got a lot of the ideas. It's going to generate something that is along the idea, and then from there we can adjust it and play around with it. And this is kind of insane, that I've basically planned, I've had an idea, a small idea for a day. I took an hour to write it into a doc, come up with a plan, and now I'm executing. And even if I need to spend 12 hours bug fixing and tuning and adjusting and updating and stuff, I might run into heaps of problems. I don't know, but when you consider building this in a day, it's kind of insane. So it just ends up working out pretty well, which is pretty cool. So this is this has been my process of how I jump into these kind of things. Usually I find the best results when I've already built something and I know the entire composition and I know that it is stable. It's not really been built through AI. It's just been built in a very strict way. Building on top of that has been really good. I've had very mixed results building from scratch like this with AI. But I keep trying because I want to know exactly why, like exactly where the thing's going to happen. What I find is like very deliberate and straightforward choices and designs that aren't too complex, that aren't too inferred, are good. When it tries to infer, it's tricky. But having a very, very direct line of like, do boom, 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 like this works pretty well. And already, the amount of time it would take me, like if we just look through this, right? This is already generating 160 lines of code. If I had to write this out by hand, even if I like knew every single thing, like it's gonna take me hours. It's insane, like how fast that is. It's like, great. We have tech stack, we have how we're gonna data manage this, we know how to frame all the functions, like it's kind of nuts. And then what I like about Cursor is you can actually like look through the project yourself. Like you can just turn off the AI window and then go into dev mode if you really want to go there. Like you have all the files, you have everything, it's not locked and gated behind some weird chat. Like all the files are here, so I can just go through and be like, oh cool, like this is, if I want to know how the code is working, I can do that. I'm just taking like project manager designer approach here. I'm not really taking like a dev approach. I'm just getting the AI to come in and do this side. So it's kind of interesting. And the use of libraries is like crazy. It's like 3JS and React and all these things are doing like massive heavy lifting, which is super good. So this is going through. It's going to do some cool things. I'm really like unsure about the handling of like Electron and the FFmpeg stuff. I feel like I'm going to run into some issues. There for sure. So yeah, effectively my idea is I kind of want, like I had this thought of like, oh, it would be really cool to take the music I made and make like a little like product ad for Egg. Like that'd be kind of sick. And so I kind of wanted this style where it's like a solid color and then you've got some element that's in the middle. And I kind of want this like 3D transition, so it like moves like this. Maybe the element in the middle like pops up, and then there's some other element here that can like rotate around and through, but not like carousel-y, like the whole frame itself. So as it rotates, the color, for example, background color might change. It's like those kind of transitions. It would be really cool to have a tool where I can build these in as content. I think that would be kind of fun. So this is doing a lot of stuff. It's setting up like the 3.js things is really interesting. Like the way that it's going to utilize this is interesting. I think this part of the design right now is pretty inferred. So the AI might do something that doesn't quite align with my idea, and then I'm just gonna have to like, oh, actually, this is where. So this is gonna take a little bit of time. So we can sort of do some stuff in the meantime. And that's the thing, right? It's like, if there was, maybe I need to go off and design something like, oh, I can design the logo while I'm waiting for the thing to happen. I can design elements to utilize, or I can just do something entirely different. It's kind of crazy. Just like, cool, I can do this on the side, and then I can like go off and do some other creative things. So yeah, I think this will be pretty neat. I think think this will be pretty neat. My concern is it has like a really weird understanding of how to utilize the 3.js stuff with the elements, and it just kind of comes out a bit weird. So I might need to find like a reference. So yeah, I'm actually really interested on like how it's gonna come up with these things. So shout out to Jockabee for making some absolutely beautiful like game remixes and other songs. These are like chill as beats. Okay. This is actually like doing it. My concern was it's gonna stop, but it's actually going through a lot of things. So that's a good sign that it's actually stepping through like a lot of stuff. That's a very good sign. Games have been an interesting one since AI has come out. Like, there's been a little bit of like controversial use of it lately, but not as much as I thought there would be. But I guess we'll have to give that one time, I suppose. Factorio is such a good game. I feel like I've had such a struggle with games lately. Like, I've had a weird relationship with games in the past little bit of time. It's like I really like them, but at the same time, it's so hard to stay involved and get into them in a weird way. Like, I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one for sure. I feel like a lot of people are like playing games around me, and I'm just like don't end up playing games so deeply, and then I feel a bit weird because I'm like, wait, aren't I supposed to be like really into games? It's kind of odd. The Bazaar is a really fun one. I'm still tossing up if I want to get this guy. The way this game works is an auto battler. Oh yeah, I have like family sharing one. I forgot. And it's really sick. It's a really sick game. The replayability is really awesome. But they have this like business model, I guess you could say, where like each character is a DLC that costs like the same money as the game, and now it's 50% off. So this Karnok guy adds items and his character to the game, but it costs like $30 NZ, and you do get some good stuff out. It's definitely true, and it's not like the end of the world. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, it's so pricey. It's so pricey. It's like the same price as the game. So a lot of people don't feel super happy about that. I really like this character though. Like I like his items and stuff. And it's like, so I'm a bit torn. I'm a bit torn of how that game is set up. Because there's no way to like earn the characters and stuff in the game. That's just how they've like modeled their game with expansions, I guess. So I'm a bit like, yeah, I'm a bit torn. If I want to like deep dive further, get this character. I've already bought, like, I already had a big. I paid like, I don't know, a couple $100 to get like collector edition and back the game when it was on like Kickstarter vibes. And then I bought character DLCs when they came out, and now this one's out, and I'm like, it's a tricky one. And then you have games like Arc Raiders, which I've only played like 3 hours of, which are just like one-time big purchases, but they've got cosmetics and stuff if you want. And then you've got like Slay the Spire 2. I've played a little bit of that game since it came out. It's pretty awesome actually. But I haven't deep dived into games lately. It's been an odd one for sure. It's been a very, very odd one. This Luminous Rise game, this is pretty sick. think I'll jam this for the small amount of time while we are waiting. That's the interesting thing about dev right now, right? It's like the partial wait times. The only downside is I have to keep clicking run, and I'm like, right now it's not like I want it to basically just keep doing all these commands because they're just all setup stuff. Like, it's not things that are going to break the code of the app, or I don't want it to do it. So it's a weird one. This game is pretty sick. It's like a rhythm game with Tetris. It's pretty awesome. I've only played a little bit of it, but I want to play a bit more. I normally play it on the controller, actually. I haven't played on keyboard and mouse before, so I'm going to do terribly. But it's kind of cool because there's almost like, there's not a multiplayer element to it, but there's definitely like these are all the active players playing around in the game right now, which is sick. I don't know how to play this on keyboard and mouse. Oh no. I don't know the controls on keyboard and mouse. This is very bad. This is very bad. Okay. Oh, I can use arrow keys. Okay, how do I rotate though? Oh my god, how do I rotate? Okay, I severely need to... I need the controls. I don't know how to play. Oh, Z and X. Okay. And then burst is shift. Okay. Not so bad. Arcadey controls. Oh, I kind of like that. So basically you combine the shapes, and as the bar goes through, it will erase any like bigger blocks like that. Ooh, oops. And so it's a mix of like, can you set up all of these combos to happen with the timing? Oh my god, this is so bad. That's not good. That's better. That's not so good. Nice. Oh my gosh. I really love how they've sort of coded the game to work the music into how, like, where you're playing as well, which is super sick. Okay, I'm gonna burst. Now this is where I try my best to combo things up as quickly as I can. This is not going well. The bursts are kind of like a ditch effort to try and save yourself or put yourself into a better spot. Okay, let's check back in because I'm gonna have to click run. There we go. Okay, oh, this is not the best setup. Oh no. That's okay. Oh yes, that's good. Oh my gosh, this is so brutal. Oh. The transition. Nice. Oh. Okay. We made it to the next part. See, now this is the thing. Is like, oh, that's really cool. You did all of that stuff. Now you're on, like, this is like when you Tetris and you sort of go up to the next like stage and stuff. You don't just get to win. Nope. They're like, how about you try doing this like 5 more times without failing, and we're not going to clear the board for you. Bane. So it gets actually really hard. But I really like the game because of all the visual effects and how it changes as you progress through the levels. It's kind of sick. And all the music changes and stuff. Oh, it's pretty nice. This is pretty brutal. Oh. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's a huge clear. Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh, whoa. These guys are vibing. Alright, we must check back in. This thing's still going. This is good signs, in a way. It's like, it's gonna build this entire thing while we... like, it's kind of crazy. Oh, this is not looking good. Oh, no. This is not looking good. No! Damn. Unfortunate. And that's the thing. I didn't even score that well. I didn't even do that good. So this game's hard. This game is so hard, but it's really fun. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Oh my god. Wow. So it fully went all the way through. Even did the Electron like compiling of like, we're gonna build this with Electron and it's gonna turn into an app, and now it's an app. And now it's an exe. Holy. Holy moly. Sick. It used the fonts okay. New project. Oh my god. Okay. 128 BPM. It's got different aspect ratios, which is actually really cool. Test. Oh, and now it's like, give me your media, because that's what I said I would do. Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple images. I'm just gonna give it random images that I've found, like, got on here. All right. Holy, this is crazy. This is crazy. By the way, okay. Oh, it's a bit glitchy. Slide. We're gonna. I wish it would just like it would just auto. That's fine. Oh, interesting. It's surprisingly off of like one just shot in the dark of like, is this gonna work? Like it's bad, but in terms of like this little transition where it's trying to do the swapping stuff like pretty well. It's definitely trying. There's a bit of glitchiness in the preview for sure. It like doesn't really know how to. The scrubbing is not too bad though. And now here's the big thing. Can I export this as an MP4? I like the exporting screen. This is not clean. This is clean. It didn't use the logo that I made though. I'm a bit sad about that. Because I thought it was a cool logo that I made. Okay. I've exported. This is the export. That's not bad for a first go. It's keeping some of the glitchiness, like. Oh, but it's like a frame. You barely notice it on the scrub. It just like blinks in. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. So there's a few things. You can't naturally drag to reorder stuff, which is a bit scuffed. You have to like use the arrows. You can reorder stuff though. That's cool. Settings. Okay, so you can only edit project settings. Not much to edit. That's fine. And what if I just remove this? Remove asset from slides first. Nice. There's like a little handling of that. It's pretty cool. This is close to being very usable. I think that obviously the glitchiness needs to be fixed. And ideally, like this rotating thing where it's rotating the panel out isn't quite right. But I understand how it's inferred that into the design. It's like I don't want to flip the frame. I want the elements to have a rotated feel as they transition. So I do want the elements to almost have two transitions. Like an in and out and then a whatever animation in the middle. And then for each slide, I need to be able to edit the color, for example. Right now I can't edit the color, which is not good. But this is pretty clean. This is kind of insane. It's been 90 minutes. It's been 90 minutes. We've turned this idea into this in 90 minutes. That's crazy. That's insane. That's actually crazy. Like, imagine I spend the entire day just like fine-tuning and fixing this around. Like, we're already here. We're already here at this point. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. This is super sick. Okay, so yeah, that's basically how I go from like I have a crazy idea to now it's a built thing. Use cursor, understand a little bit about like libraries and code bases on what to use, be able to write in this, be able to, I guess, understand a couple project management things of like, hey, let's build a plan, let's review the plan, let's like look at scope and look at how this is going to step through. I think it's a pretty strong process. Like, it gets me to these prototypes pretty quickly without a ton of issues. And then like out of the one prompt, it just sits here and builds like the whole thing. And now it's just bug fixing time. Now it's just bug fixing. Now it's just like, okay, here's all of the feedback from all of these things. Here's what works well. Here's what's missing. Here's a part of the design that needs redesigning or recontextualizing of like, what is this? And then we put it through. But this was pretty sick to just like try and build. So I'm gonna play around with this a bit more. I'm gonna try to adjust it to my needs, and yeah, that should be pretty fun. But this was pretty sick. So I definitely rate just trying out ideas and figuring it out, because so much stuff is happening nowadays. Like, this AI models coming out left, right, and center. There's all sorts of things, but honestly, I'm just trying to like surf along with it all at the moment. So there might be a lot that I can do better. There might be other tools I can use. There might be ways that I can maybe do more design work on the front end, like draw the designs even more to get a better idea. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but honestly, it was sick to be able to just be like, all right, cool, let's just try and turn this idea into something that works. And if I polish this up, I think I can get to an effect that works really well. I mean, I kind of think it's just even sick to have this even as a simple video editing tool. It's like the possibilities here are like crazy high. It's already got a lot of the basic video editing needs. I just need to be able to like have a bit of timeline stuff. Yeah, I think this tool is going to be pretty sick, but I really like the idea of just going in here with the elements, throwing the elements in. I want a text tool so you can actually write text. That's also not in here. It's got some handling for text, but I can't actually create the text, which is a bit of an oversight. It's got a project hub. So if I just make a new project, test 2, and I go create, and this time I'm going to try and put video in here. This time I'm actually going to try and put video in. I'm really curious to see how this handles it. Oh, interesting. It like doesn't like the video rendering like at all. It does not like the video rendering. Oh my god. No, it does not. No, it does not. Sweet. Okay, well, there's a little bit of things to tinker around with, but this is the basis of the idea. Can you come in, create a little product animation video, and then export that out as a clip? So this was pretty awesome. So now if I go to projects, I should be able to go, yeah. Oh, that's very weird. You see how it like resized it? That's a bit strange. It's like stretched it for some reason. Yeah, why has it done that all of a sudden? Oh, see, the elements are getting like bigger in the... Oh, that's really bad. Huh. That's a very weird byproduct of swapping saves. But the save system works great. We've got a whole project thing. Damn. That's crazy. That's pretty awesome. So thank you for people who have been hanging out. This was very fun. It was like 90 minutes. It's crazy. So I'm gonna go have some food, and I'll probably work on this here and there a little later. Throw in some tweaks and some ideas, and hopefully the idea is I can put the song that I made along with a little cool product edit. That would be a really cool output. So I'm going to try and do that, but I'll play the song as I leave. But happy Easter, everybody. See you next time.